One of my favorite things is the Humminbird Lakemaster app on my phone. I'll actually look at that before I even go out and have a few key areas that I want to check out. But ledge fishing, it can be obvious, but it can also not be obvious. I spend a lot of time idling this time of year in the summer. I'll put, several 40, 50 hours on my motor just going out there looking around, finding as many places as I can. But obviously you can go out and idle the main river channel ledge. You can look at the higher spots, the points where the current is facing, any kind of creek channels that may be coming out to the main river. Those are all high percentage areas. And then once I get around a high percentage area like that, specifically like a creek channel, I'll idle up and down each side of it, and I'll even idle up on top of the ledge, just looking for something, a little bit off the beaten path. That's a big key on how to catch, some of those bigger fish. A lot of the times, you'll have a group of fish and there'll be, your smaller ones. That's where they'll just be loaded. But then there'll be another group of fish nearby that's, 5, 6, 7 fish, but that's where the big ones are. So you're kind of about finding the spot within the spot or the sweet spot of the ledge. So I usually set my Humminbird units on 125 foot out to the side, and I'll just zigzag as much as I can. I'll go up and on the ledge, turn around, go back off the ledge, maybe 200 feet down. That way I'm not missing anything. You can also sit on the ledge and idle straight down it, trying to keep your boat, in that 18-foot range, and look with your side scan and your down scan. But the big key about side scanning these schools of fish is you don't want to be turning when you're seeing the fish. If you're turning your boat, it distorts the image of your side scan. So I try to just make a straight line as straight as I can, and then I'll turn my boat around and go straight line again. That's kind of how I do a zigzag. You looked at my Lakemaster map on my boat. I just got a bunch of zigzags going down the Tennessee River. So that's kind of my key for how to find the fish. So when I'm looking at the map, trying to find, the specific ledges the fish may be holding on, there's a few things that I do. First off, I'll set my Lakemaster mapping on shaded relief. Then I'll go into the color shading category. Like if I'm at the Tennessee River, for example, and I'm looking for fish in that, 17 to 21, 22 foot range, I'll set that range as like a bright pink or bright red or something that just pops. That way it really sticks out, and you're really looking for the sharpest drops where the contour lines come together really tight. That's a good place where the fish can move up and down the ledge, because they don't always sit up there and they're not always feeding. So don't get discouraged if you're looking around and you're not seeing a bunch of schools. Sometimes there's just not a lot of fish up at the time. It's a big timing deal. Timing is everything on ledge fishing, so it's important to know what the current is doing. And when the fish are not in a certain area, it doesn't mean they're not going to get there later that afternoon, or if they weren't there earlier in the morning. You just kind of have to learn each specific ledge and those schools and how they act, because I've seen it where I pulled up on a place and there wasn't a single fish around. I came back 30 minutes later and I caught 20 pounds. So it's kind of a big timing thing, and pressure as well. People fishing the schools that you may not have noticed, they could have just left and then you came and sat down. So yeah, so for example, one thing that I've seen is really strong current can pull the fish off of those main river areas and push them shallower. I've actually seen a school of fish move several hundred yards to a spot on the bank, a subtle little point on the bank, after they were at a creek channel mouth.